Commerce has changed in the past 5 years by the rise of e-commerce. It's become the main area and the main location that consumers are expecting to find the brands they want to do the bulk of their shopping.
As recently as 20 years ago, you predominantly went into a store to research a product, right? Now, almost all customer research begins online because you have far more information, variety, and data.
It's really a digital-led economy right now, and from the perspective of people-based marketing, right? We're smarter in the way that we're targeting consumers. We have a better understanding of where they're shopping, how they're shopping, which has been really dynamic.
Amazon has clearly been the 800-pound gorilla in the commerce space. And we've seen how Amazon has impacted people's expectations. I think it's a world where if anything takes longer than 2 days to be delivered, you wonder what's wrong with this company.
The customer, as we've seen, really likes to see visual ads. So where text ads were very heavy for Google years ago, in the past 5 years we've seen shopping be one of the fastest growing products that they have.
When it comes to commerce, one of the biggest impacts is that consumers now have so much visibility and transparency into products from around the world.
In the last 5 years, two things happened. Digital got embedded in culture, which changed the expectations from consumers and how they engage with brands. But also, digital got embedded in organizations.
It's more important about how easy you are to transact with. Brands and consumers actually expect seamless experiences and ultimately speed to get what their want, need, and desires are to be fulfilled.
As marketers, we're a lot smarter in terms of who we're targeting, how we're targeting, where we're targeting consumers. So from a behavioral perspective, we're understanding really what makes these consumers tick.
We're using things like purchase data, browsing data, lookalike modeling, and a number of other really rich targeting layers to try to find people and get them to purchase.
The biggest challenge I see is the brands figuring out and understanding how to give the consumers the exact right brand experience across the entire e-commerce landscape.
Over the years, MKTG has worked with some of the leading and most relevant brands in the world, helping to develop commerce programs for them. The majority of them have been more brick and mortar presence, where we've been in and set up semi-permanent to permanent to pop-up locations for each one of them. And the nice thing and the point of differentiation for us has been the ability for us to basically integrate a lot of the digital technology into these activations on site.
At 360i, we're particularly focused on, where are the areas that change is happening so fast that the market's not able to keep up. And those are places where we create what we call gap technologies. Commerce is a huge area where we're focused on creating some of these gap technologies.
At Isobar, we're trying out this concept. It's in its infancy phases, but we're trying to develop sort of an online avatar, which is a very accurate representation of a person, such as yourself. And you can actually then go to a brand that we're working with where you can try on their clothing online and actually see how you look on it. At that point, you can take a few different options and then post them on your social media, Instagram, Facebook, whatever profiles, and get your friends and peers feedback on how you look in those outfits.
Augmented reality can change the in-store experience because essentially you have your most successful salesperson in your pocket. Users can take their phone, put it up against a product, and ultimately get all sorts of information about what that product is, who's using it, how it should be used, whether it's right for you, and also they can get ideas about how to cross-sell, upsell.
I think in order to keep up with the pace of change, you need to spend a lot of time really looking at what your competitors are doing and making sure that you're on top of best practices.
The malls that we know it, the physical malls are going away. The digital malls are growing. And Google has a new product called Google Express. It's been around for a while to really compete with Amazon on very fast delivery. But what they now have is they have Costco, they have Target, they have Walmart. And so if a customer wants to go to one place and buy from those in one place versus having to go to each site, they can now do that.
We partnered with Sunglass Hut to completely change the way they viewed in-store and online marketing. Sunglass Hut was facing similar challenges to most retailers in that they were having declining store traffic. So what we did is we went ahead and unpacked everything we were doing with them from an offline and online perspective to go ahead and think about how we can measure differently. That resulted in a 25% increase in investment for Sunglass Hut and actually metrics that went against trend for how many people were visiting the stores.
What brands and retailers need to do is to rethink the way they engage with consumers at the point of sale.
We at MKTG are starting to integrate a lot more in terms of technology in what we're doing to help create a more of an immersive experience, to engage the consumer more dynamically, whether that's through virtual reality, augmented reality, artificial intelligence.
I think in the next several years, we're going to see a lot of companies come in that are completely rethinking what retail is and how to make consumers happy, other than simply offering them the widest assortment.
With retail and digital, as part of culture, as part of the same thing. Digital is not a component of life right now, it is part of life.